Joining us now for more is Texas Congressman and member of the House Oversight Committee and retired U.S. Air Force Captain Pat Fallon. Sir, thanks for joining us. So the House Oversight Committee meeting yesterday regarding the crisis at the southern border. Ranking member and Democrat Jamie Raskin had plenty to say about the number of arrests CBP is reporting. Listen. Well, sir, what he said.
He had a lot to say, sir.
What he was saying, he
had a lot to say.
He said, oh, but we're making so many more arrests now under this administration. And so he was shifting the narrative, saying it's not that bad. But, sir, more people are coming over the border that we know of. And then talk about the getaways.
Well, I've never seen Jamie Raskin at a loss for words, so that was wonderful. Thank you for playing that. It's a lot better when he's quiet. But listen, the fact of the matter is that the border has never been worse in our history, and it's the data shows that, and that's what I pointed out when I questioned the border chiefs. We had never had a month ever in our history where we had 200,000 illegal border crossings. I mean, keeping these numbers for about a quarter century, and yet the last 10 months in a row have been over 200,000. In fact, our worst month on record was last December, which was 251,000 illegal border crossings. We had 5 million people cross the border illegally under Joe Biden's watch. Over 100 people were on the terrorist watch list, have been apprehended. Over 160 countries have been represented by people crossing the border illegally. Fentanyl is streaming across the border. Drug cartels are making wild record profits, not only from, by the way, the $25 billion they make on illegal narcotics trafficking, but an additional $13 billion on human smuggling. So they've never been more powerful, and they have Joe Biden to thank.
All right, Congressman, you were there last night. I saw you on TV a few times. They kept showing you on TV. What was that like? What did that room feel like last night? It seemed like it was a lot rowdier than any State of the Union that I've ever seen. And it seemed like it's somewhat bipartisan. There's not a lot of respect or adoration for the commander-in-chief.
Well, this was really his first State of the Union, Robin, so much as, you know, they thought everybody was going to get COVID the last couple of years. So we were all there, and it was the first State of the Union I've ever watched where the president just continued to lie. And if he wasn't lying, he was spinning. And, you know, the reporter asked me last night what my favorite part of the speech was, and I said the end, because it was finally over.
Right.
I mean, it was the good, the bad, the ugly. I can run down some quick things because I did take notes last night because he lied so much. So he lied about the GOP when he said that we were going to cut, because, you know, with the debt ceiling increase, we wanted to cut Medicare and Social Security. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book. That was never on the table. He bragged about how it was off the table. That wasn't true. He said it was we've already recovered billions in fraud, waste, and abuse from the COVID relief funds. That's not true. We had an oversight hearing. There's $560 billion in potential fraud. $1 billion has been recovered. He said he was going to cut the deficit another $2 trillion. I mean, this guy has got no shame. We're going to cut it another $2 trillion? Dude, you raised it $4 or $5 trillion. What are you talking about cutting another? He said he's going to be bold with President Xi. Rob, he's going to be bold. He's going to be bold.
Right.
What he meant with Xi, he wouldn't even talk about fentanyl, which has killed 80,000 Americans last year alone, which is asymmetrical warfare on our country. This guy is full of it. I could go on and probably teach a 3-credit college course about how untruthful he was last night.
Yeah, the New York Post there had, they said simple, Joe Biden. So to back up your claims, that's the headline today.
Yeah, well, that's pretty darn accurate. And then he said, of course, it was just he went to the wheelbarrow and the old stale arguments. He dusted them off. You know, tax the rich. The rich need to pay their fair share. Apparently, Joe Biden's going to be the arbiter of what's fair when the wealthiest 1% pay 42% of all personal income tax. And get this, the bottom 50% pay 2.3%. And yet it's those evil rich people that create jobs and opportunity and prosperity for our country. Let's hammer them.
Congressman, it's an old, tired playbook, but you're right. He dusted it off last night, and now it's pivoting back to running for re-election. We'll keep an eye on the numbers. The AP and NORC had a poll out 2 days ago. 78% of this country, not Democrats, not Republicans, 78% of Americans don't want Joe Biden running again in 2024. We'll see what he does. Last night, not great, though. Texas Congressman Pat Fallon, we appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. God bless.